Good morning, good morning, good morning again. It's your boy James Bubba Williams, better known as DJ Exclusive. Welcome again to another edition of the Morning Trap. Please forgive us, we had a few technical difficulties, but we are back now in full effect and ready to go. So I'm going to take you out for a few minutes, let y'all listen to some good old non-copyrighted music and get y'all jamming and get everything ready. We got a great show this morning, so make sure that you stay tuned. Go ahead and get your coffee, your tea, your drink, your wine, whatever it is that you need to get your morning started, okay? The Morning Trap, y'all. Stay tuned. DJ Exclusive.
Ay, cause I just think about you always on my mind. Even when I'm high, like I've been smoking strong, I stay doing that a lot, yeah. I still check my text just to see if you respond, yeah. Ay, cause I just think about you always on my mind. Even when I'm high, She said tell your friends about me cause I feel like I'm a secret. I told them like a million times, girl, take it or leave it. I know that you don't like my habit, but I really need it. Girl, I said I ice you out and now your neck and wrists are freezing. Yeah, I know you want a long time, but it's just been a long time. I just fiend for Nicki Plus, your name up on my timeline. We ain't even yet, but the bed broke twice. Girl, I wanna introduce you to this brand new low light. I just feel alone unless you call me on the phone, yeah. I can't leave my home, I've been in here way too long, yeah. Ay, cause I just think about you always on my mind. Even when I'm high, like I've been smoking strong, I stay doing that a lot, yeah. I still check my text just to see if you respond, yeah. Ay, cause I just think about you always on my mind. Even when I'm high, Girl, I told you you important to me, but I can't stand when you get unruly. All my friends is dead to me like a Muzi. You the one that matters, and I mean that truthfully.
May help if I unmute the microphone first. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat room that's checking in this morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Melody, good morning. Terry, I see you. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, everybody that's checking in. Chuck Diesel, what's up, brother? I see you. Shout out to everybody that's checking in this morning. Got a great show coming up, so make sure that you stay tuned.
I've been smoking strong, I stay doing that a lot. I still check my text just to see if you respond, yeah. Ay, cause I just think about you always on my mind. Even when I'm high.
Every time I try to change the beat, you seem to work it out. And every time you change the beat, I try to catch you, try to catch you, I can seem to work it out. Cause you deep in the change, changing the beat. Yes, you're keeping the change, changing the beat on the street. I cannot catch you, babe. Tomorrow will be too late. I don't wanna lose it now. I know I got to hold back now, but I don't wanna lose out. I cannot catch you, babe. Tomorrow will be too late. I know I gotta hold back now. I hold the track and take you back. I gotta keep up the change, change of the beat, changing the street, changing for you, changing for me, changing we keep. Every time I try to change the beat, I try to catch you, try to badge you, you seem to work it out. And every time you change the beat, I try to catch you, try to badge you, try to seem to work it out.
Afraid Not a Ratchet, I see you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody that's checking in. Shout out to everybody that's sending love. I greatly appreciate it, y'all. If you do want to tip your DJ, you can tip DJ X3C on Cash App and Venmo. DJ X3C on Cash App and Venmo. And make sure that y'all hit the like, share, subscribe button so you always know when the Morning Trap is going down. Okay, y'all? Stay tuned. We'll get started in a few minutes.
I don't want to lose it now. I know I got to hold back out. I cannot, I don't want to lose out. Keep you now, babe. Hold me back, babe. Keep the change, babe. Don't be late, babe. I'll be here.
Best there is. You heard that? We'll be talking nothing.
Take out the street.
Don't forget that music.
I'm like Sherlock's best. I can detect your ass. Better protect your neck. Got the cat in the mask. Sounds of the rap pack. Home for the past apps. Get paid through the cash app. I'ma pimp slap your snapback right off your fat back. I get the Twitter going just to make me mad. And now I'm on blast. You get plastered with passion. Over the top, now I'ma get savage with these raps that I'm crafting. I said before you you in the flesh.
Shout out to Antonio, I appreciate that.
I'm blessed all the possessed. I'm in a session with the top phone tag on the bed. I'm a pop off and some pop rocks and soda pop.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Morning Trap, y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all come on in, get ready, get situated. We got a great show coming up for y'all, so make sure that y'all stay tuned and keep it locked. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, man. Make sure that you stay tuned. Morning Trap is about to go down.
We the best. We the best. You all looking up to the top of the mountain. Got so much money now I hire an accountant. Making hits on your Facebook page. We breaking out of this cage. You wish you could play the bass like me. You wish you had a face just like me. Beautiful, sinful, you're all jealous. And when I play the guitar, it sounds psychedelic. This ain't the past. I run so fast. I kick that ass. Don't pay no tax. Never even need to try. See with a laser eye. Don't even put me to the test. We the best. 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 When you got a bad habit, you know it ain't good for you, but you still gotta have it. What's rich? Rich is placing value in your kids. Trying to get that fast money ain't the only way to live. It's when your car won't start and you can't afford to fix it even though you work hard. Pain is when you put something away and you're in between jobs but going shopping anyway. It's a mind state, that's why you're always irate, cause you want your people stalking like the Empire State. Why wait, young girl? Ain't no time like the present. If you all about perfection, then it turns to depression. Regressing, trying to get that monkey off your back. Ain't nothing impressive about a woman on the tracks. Where is the honor in that? How could I worship the P? Cause pimping and pussy is the same thing to me. I was raised by my parents and not by the streets. That's something everybody about. Get like me, I wouldn't trade my soul for nothing on the planet. I don't own a vehicle, but I'm one hell of a mechanic. And damn it, I feel like folks need to stop fronting. Strutting like a rooster when it don't mean nothing. Success you find by a vision in your head. I'd rather be getting wisdom than simply a loaf of bread. Worse when you got a bad habit, you know it ain't good for you, but you still gotta have it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Morning Trap. It's about to go down this morning. Got a great show coming up, so make sure that you stay tuned. Get your coffee, get your tea, get your drinks. Gonna have a great time, y'all, coming up today. January 27th, 2021, y'all, let's get it.
You're still living in your mama's crib. What's hot? You got 100 G's in your stack. What's not? You got it flooding the community with crack. What's strong? The way you use your arms in the street. What's wrong? You constantly praying on the weak. What's on?
All right, I love you too. I appreciate the shout out, y'all.
Dignity and self-respect. What's up? Dancing all out for the sweet. What's up? It's down south, shot it. She a love. I call it dirty. Let us cook. It's a bad. Better book it. See the pigs. Better book it. I ain't looking stupid on the late night, no. I used to get grounded, now I take flight, whoa. Sharks in the butter like a great white. Candy paint, what you think? Take it to the bank. Pulling rank, pouring drink, filling up the tank. Candy paint, what you think? Take it to the bank. Pulling rank, pouring drink, filling up the tank. Sweet like Zach and Cody, holy moly. I been had the ranch, now I need the rollie. Been dressing, been impressive. Put up on that, she look rich, suggest a fake, I can see through. She pull up in that top, that's a see-through. Hit it once again, that's a sequel. I don't want no friends, I want seek notes. I was pre-vote. Candy paint, what you think? Take it to the bank. Pulling rank, pouring drink, filling up the tank. Candy paint, what you think? Take it to the bank. Pulling rank, pouring drink, filling up the tank. You wanna ball with me, ball with me. No, I got my dogs with me, dogs with me. No, the money calling me, calling me. No, the money calling me, calling me. Now you wanna ball with me, ball with me. No, I got the dogs with me, dogs with me. No, the money calling me, calling me. No, the money calling me, calling me.
Shout out Savage Sweetheart, I appreciate that super chat.
It's your boy, I ain't 너의 감정 보내주니까 받아들여 했던 close door 셔를 뜯겨 진짜 너를 보여줘 Throw yourself in the air Tell me 숨들이 제일 쓸려가는 중에 내 감이 Yo, I got you if silly want it. Nope, this ain't no way. Nope, this ain't no happy hour. Let's surf around shit. Nope, this ain't all the luggage. I can buy you the shit. This ain't 잠시 머물렀다 떠났다 shit. 난 돌아갈 곳이 없어 이건 real life shit. 그냥 졸라 특이한 새끼에서 A-list shit. This is hit the rock bottom then come back up shit. 이런 나도 괜찮다면 레고 성 자고 같이 가져 no betrayal 심장 talk. I think you let it for my wrist supporters. All your wait is over. 넌 최고가 어울려 작은 만큼 누려 네 top 5는 할때 내 이름을 썼다 지워가며 약해질 거서 이제 고개 들어 yeah, bring it back for you 돌려줄게 give that God for you 대웅 위에 back에서 right to the top for you 센스 형의 사랑 나눠줄게 I got love for you 응원 들을 때야 나게 die for you
breathe. I'm a child of Rick G's and Bun B, of Com Fife to Big L and Dre 3. Hip hop, funk and soul don't raise me. Said hip hop, funk and soul don't raise me.
Errol Walker, I appreciate that love.
Starsky of Pop J5 of the
show gonna be starting in a few minutes, y'all. Make sure that you stay tuned, keep it locked. The morning trap.
I'm a child of the World Marquee of Rock and
Rivka, I see you.
Hip hop, funk and soul don't raise me. Said hip hop, funk and soul don't raise me. Look. Rules don't apply to those who create pieces.
Trey Songz look like he is singing while he is. I bet the neighbors know my name. That's what it looks like he's saying right now. Damn it, Trey.
The cats cannot relate. Dapper is jam, blessing the fam with heavy H. Rhythm is strong, memory long like interstate. When the beat drops, I can't call on single text. No need for a hook when I'm on one. See you all catch the vibe in the long run. Been a G lacing the beat like I'm Don Juan. This verse ain't for the weak, it's for the strong ones. Looking for something better than clutch. I reconstruct with a single stroke of the brush.
Mommy, thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I like it. This is a great job. Thank you. You're making me blessed. So early in the morning. Shout out to everybody that's checking in, wherever you streaming from. Ben, I'm laughing at your big head. Once you go back and rewatch this, you'll see it.
Breathe. You better breathe. Breathe. Yeah. I'm a
8-bar corner pocket calling all the shots, boy. Raw denim 5 pocket feeling like a hot boy. Y'all tripping, I was in the crib watching Top Boy. Chopping up this green, guess I got a thing for Bok Choy. Ain't worried about
Digi and Stilettos game, I appreciate the love. That's like the dopest name ever. Stilettos and the dang on
Need 2 chains like Def Jam to change the glaciers. Titanic crash against Flush, you know my wave crazy. Put over with no ID, look like cocaine 80. Same kid with stripes like a ref's average shirt. Got the next magic verse, got my chest tatted first. Treasures, Antioch stores make desperate measures. Back when you had a 1-up when your shirt said pleasures. Was in the church like elders, was underground like shelters. Made a plan to get it and kept it together like welders. I'm living stress free, never catch me, never test me. Oh no, I'm living stress free, never catch me, never test me. Oh no, I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. I wish you could see me now, I'm unstoppable. Whoa, 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 whoa. All black leather now, my vibe much better now. My tribe said I'm the one, my time feel extra now. My instincts dialed in, my senses is dialed up. My sentences chime in, they eyebrows rise up. I feel like a titan writing the scripture. My might is touching the mixture.
Good morning, Rook. I love y'all too. Shout out to Gwen Williams that just dropped the super chat and y'all to know that's my mama. Welcome, mama. I appreciate the love.
It's a difference when racing for your survival. Think I'm poised to win it. Checker flags, waving Nipseyana, drinking Chardonnay with my little mama banging Rihanna. Icons of this time that we live. I'm facing my.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. I hope that you are ready because we got a banging ass show for you today. Make sure that you stay tuned. The morning trap is about to go down.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, non-gender conforming individuals, to another episode of The Morning Trap. As always, I'm joined by 4 and 5 of the dopest people on the face of the planet. Rebecca Azor.
How y'all doing this morning? That's me, Rebecca Azor.
It's not Azor?
No, that's how they used to tell me how back then, the colonizers. And I had finally grew up to learn to correct them.
Well, I ain't no colonizer. I'm just messing with you. Darren's filling in for my main man, Marcus, who is out doing some work, some major work. Darren, how you doing, man?
Doing well. I decided to dress down today in honor of the show. So this is my last flex before I leave for Tampa on everyone.
Just out in honor of the show. I just didn't want you wearing all them $300, $400, $500 ties that you be flexing on here so hard.
No,
but man, it's good.
I had it, but I decided to dress down today. So.
As always, Mundell Robinson with the Black Male Voter Project hat, sporting it. What's happening, brother? How you doing, man? We ain't got your audio, but it's all good. We know it's gonna click in about 2 seconds. What you got going on? How you doing, man?
I'm the mute king. I said good morning. How y'all doing?
Mundell be staying on mute. I know sometimes he'd be back there behind the scenes blessing us for real. Like, man, I really appreciate these people. And then sometimes you be like, I can't stand when you on mute. So I understand, man, because I do the same thing. No, I'm joking. James, how you doing, man? Appreciate you always getting the audience ready to go. And then you said the morning trap is getting ready to go down. We all I got crunk behind the scenes. So we appreciate you.
What you do. Hey, I'm like, oh, okay.
He said, hey. Getting ready to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
okay. Good morning. Good morning to everyone in the chat rooms. We're covering and watching all kinds of stories. There's a lot of stuff happening. And I want to begin with what's happening with Joe Biden. Now, in a minute, I do want to talk about it. I just want to put it at the top. Have you guys been watching what's happening with GameStop? It is a fascinating story, and we're going to cover that. Yeah. But first, I want to go with the executive actions on racial equality that Joe Biden is making moves on. So Biden issues executive orders promoting racial equity. On Tuesday, Biden signed 4 executive orders as part of the Biden administration's racial equity agenda. Biden said that these executive orders are a direct response to the protests that emerged in the wake of the George Floyd murder. What many Americans didn't see or had simply refused to see couldn't be ignored any longer. Here are what the 4 executive orders will do, according to the administration. One executive order directs the Department of Justice will not renew contracts with private prisons. Can we just pause right there? And because that's not a little thing. I want us to we could start right there. The cancellation of their contracts with federal prisons, with private prisons, rather, I think is one of the most significant moves when you look at the role that private prisons have been playing in the American injustice system. So before I even go through the rest of them, I want to start there. What are your thoughts? Let's go with Mundell, then Darren, then Rebecca, and then James, just on the private prison issue. Because we've seen a lot of stuff go down in these private prisons, taxpayers paying money for their own incarceration, literally getting to the point where they're paying these private prisons for empty beds, right? They have quotas that the federal government had quotas that if they didn't have those prison cells filled, the government had to pay them anyway. That's not every single contract, but I know for a fact that was at least one federal contract that they had with private prisons. I can't overstate how important this is even if it's just a first step. Mundell, what are your thoughts about that decision, that executive order?
I mean, I think yesterday when I mentioned this, it was extremely important that people knew this wasn't a small matter. And it may sound like I was being selfish because I talked about the impact of the criminal justice system on my family, but it's actually, as you said, this is not a selfish issue. This is a issue, much like the president said, we are less prosperous as a nation and also less safe as a nation because of private prisons and the scourge of systematic racism. So I believe we had no other choice if we're talking about racial equity, knowing how Black men are overrepresented in prison populations. We had to do something, and this is definitely a big something.
That it is. Darren, I want to toss it to you. I have followed private prisons for for years. And it just bothers me that we have a profit motive and incentive in the incarceration of human beings. And we've seen that be abused with some stories that I remember out of Pennsylvania, where judges were taking kickbacks. What are your thoughts on this private prison industry in general, but as well as Joe Biden's decision?
Shout out to Mondo, because yesterday, he did talk about this towards the end of the show when, we kind of broke down and the conversation went way left towards the end of the show. But, but as it relates to that, we have private prisons here, in Missouri, and the fact that, some of the smaller cities use it because they think of it as an economic boom for their residents or whatever. I think it's real big, obviously taking the money out of the hands of those private firms. And really, it's going to put people who don't look like us on the unemployment line. So, I'm really happy about that, because now they can't make money off of trying to increase their numbers, trying to put people like us away for the smallest crimes, imaginable. So I'm very happy. I know it's just the first start. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the immigration, because I think that's a different department or whatever. But the fact that, that they started with this and it's going to only get better. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad it's a start.
I want to read a couple more of these executive actions, and then I'm going to toss it to Rebecca and James. Biden ordered the Department of Health and Human Services to see if Trump's recent anti-Asian rhetoric surrounding COVID-19 led to increased discrimination against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. Another executive order calls for reestablishing federal respect for tribal sovereignty. Right. And this last one, Biden also ordered the Department of House and Urban Development to reinstate a 2013 rule on disparate impact that aims to block the real estate sector from requiring tenants to undergo criminal backgrounds or using artificial intelligence to forecast credit worthiness. Rebecca, these are real moves that actually are going to help people, because in so many states, you can't get a job, let alone live somewhere if you are a returned citizen, if you have a previous, what they call a criminal past, but I want to refer to them as returned citizens because they paid their dues. What are your thoughts about the entire thing, but specifically some of those moves that he's making in terms of the criminal background checks and even this artificial intelligence, like forecasting credit worthiness? I don't need Google or Siri to be forecasting my credit worthiness. What you got, Rebecca?
So I will say, I know yesterday it did get a little heated, but I heard
it was a good conversation. Go ahead,
it was
Rebecca.
good. No, I like when it gets heated. I like when we, have fuel in the fire. So let me tell you something. So yesterday, Mondale did speak about this, and I know that we were talking about the $2,000, and he was saying there are other things that are being done in the Biden administration, as what we just spoke about, that one of those being not renewing those contracts, right? That's going to definitely help our brothers and sisters who are coming out of jail and trying to get those jobs and things like that. Like, all these things are going to assist Black and brown people. So that's a big point to what Mondale was saying yesterday. Like, yes, the $2,000, but in when it comes to the racial justice that he's trying to promote, I can actually kind of see without my glasses. Like, I can see clearer in that point. So this is definitely going to help. As far as the artificial intelligence, that's another thing. Yeah. See, this is when we just be out here selling our information. It's just, this is where it gets a little, we're starting at a good place. There's a little bit in the horizon right here. But that's another conversation for another day.
You got to get some of that artificial intelligence on your internet connection. I'm joking. No, I'm not. James.
You're disrespectful. It's all right. When y'all start paying me better, then we'll figure it out.
Man, I just sent you a spreadsheet of how you did last month.
All right.
I tell you can't take Black folks nowhere. James Bubba Williams, I want to, and actually I could pass it back around the room if anyone wants to get a second word in on this. James, it is a good start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It isn't enough, but it's starting good. What are your thoughts overall in terms of the impact on everyday life? And is this a good start in your opinion? And just talk about it.
I think it is a good start for him. It shows that he means well and is wants to get in there and start doing the right thing early for his term. So that's good, especially with the prison thing. been hearing about the private sector for prisons for a long time, and that's something that's always has needed to been stopped. Louisiana, for example, I know that there were all these different private prisons, and they're putting people in jail for small stuff, a gram of weed. Simple things, just so they can fill up beds. So I think it is a good start. So I'm just ready to see what else he's going to do, honestly. And shout out to that Lombardi Trophy on the table over there. I see it.
Yeah, Kansas City probably gonna win. I kind of, you know, probably. If it's between Brady and Mahomes, I'm definitely. Anyway, that's besides the point. I want to go back around the room. What do you want to see? What would you like to see next from Joe Biden? Whether it be an executive order, whether it be a legislation that you want to see him get behind and help push through the House and through the Senate. What would you like to see next? If I were to start, I would like to see, well, let's just go for the gusto. I want to see them make moves on reparations. That's an easy one to go to because it's always going to be necessary. I doubt we see it from them. But what would you like to see next to make you feel like we're continuing in the right direction? Let's keep going the same order, Mondale.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, before I get to the next, I think it's important that we talk about, you know, Joe Biden is making some huge claims. And yesterday he also said that in order for America to compete in the 21st century, we have to have racial equity in the economy. So he said in this government, he said the country, it's going to be hard for the country to change, but the country can do it and they must do it now. And he said the government must change now also. So he was talking about investigating, like, you know, or making sure that we come closer to racial equity in the economy. So that's huge to hear a president of the United States say, especially right before he says that his intelligence community will be investigating American domestic extremist violence. That's white terrorism. And so that's not COINTELPRO, what happened to black people in the 60s, but to know that we have a government, a federal government that's using its forces to investigate white supremacy is a new space for us to be in. So what I want to see next is definitely a conversation about addressing America's initial. If we are talking about being honest with America, then we definitely need to talk about America's original sin, which is slavery and Jim Crow and all his cousins. So yeah, reparations.
Absolutely. Darren, what do you want to see next from the Biden administration?
It's still Obama Biden, but to Mondale's point, obviously I'm for reparations and Rep 1. I'm trying to think of what can get through versus what we hope is possible. I'd like to obviously see the COVID relief package, and I like to see it. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I like to see them go higher, and if they have to negotiate down, do so. I'd also like to see them, if they're going to go for it and go for the gusto, to be able to pass it through reconciliation and get the Democrats, including Joe Manchin, on board and in line to make sure that this stuff goes out and helps the people that it's initially meant to help. I know they talked about, well, they have a March 13th or 11th deadline, due to what's going on right now. But a lot of people are hurting to where they can't afford to wait till March 13th or 14th to hope that by the time they get to that everybody is gonna come together and get this second or get this package passed away. So I would like for them to work on this, get this done ASAP. It's my hope to get it done before the end of the month or even before Biden's first address to the nation. I don't see it happening because they're going to be trying to be all kumbaya. But I do also want to say that I hope he continues with the executive actions and does what he feels that he can do via executive action. Obviously, Donald Trump tried to do everything via executive action. I like to see him obviously get rid of student debt. Whether it's 10,000, 50,000 or what have you, with the stroke of a pen, because I think that would help a lot of people of color. And granted, it would help everyone, but I still feel that that's something that would help us tremendously, so we don't have to worry about that type of debt and that type of debt being on our credit and things like that. So those are a couple of things that I'd like to see happen. Again, I know politics is the art of what's possible or what have you, but that's my wish list.
So in other words, where the money reside is what he's saying. Speaking of, and I'm going to pass it to Rebecca and James, I want to read from the Associated Press. Democrats prep Biden's virus aid package with or without the GOP. This goes right to what you're saying, Darren. Senate Democrats are preparing to push ahead quickly on President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package, even if it means using procedural tools, just like you stated. The Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told senators to be ready to vote on a budget reconciliation package that would lay the groundwork for swift passage. The work must, this is a quote, the work must move forward, preferably with our Republican colleagues, but without them if we must, Schumer said. The time is of the essence. To address this crisis, we're keeping all options on the table. That said, Rebecca, where the money reside? What you want to see next from Joe Biden and or even the Senate, for that matter?
So definitely starting here, I think what Chuck Schumer said I agree with it 100%, because this whole thing of bipartisanship, all that, we've tried it, we've discussed it for a long time. I know that they're trying to push that right now, and it's good. Work that out behind the scenes. But right now, American people need financial assistance. They need the assistance. We are due like mad money, pay bills, to get our homes in order, to, a lot of people are still without jobs because their businesses are shut down. So a lot of people can't afford to pay rent. A lot of people have been evicted. A lot of people are living with their parents. A lot of people are hungry with their kids. A lot of people can't afford to have internet for their kids at home. Right. This pandemic has hurt a lot of people. So first things first, let's get the people what they need, financial assistance. That's going to start getting the people to actually, I believe, trust in what's going to be done next and want to know more about what Biden's going to do. First things first, we are suffering through a pandemic. We gonna move forward with or without the Republicans, if we have to. And that's what's important, because we know in the last administration, they were just like, what the Republicans got to say, what they got to say. Listen, we can't move forward without you. No, we need people that are going to be willing to fight for the people, for the right thing for the people, getting them the help that they need. And that's what I think is going to be one of the biggest moves that he makes starting in his presidency. Next up, yes, student debt loans. Please, Lord, let's move forward with clearing that up, because there's a lot of us that owe, and a lot of people who
paying my student loan years ago. So it's just out there. So once he wipes it away, it's gone. So I just
it's like I appreciate it.
You know what I mean? Well, that's good for you. We out here, every
you paying
time
your student loans, Rebecca? I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
Am I paying them? Look. There was once upon a time they called me to threaten.
Paying them.
Don't say it on air, because Sally Mae might be watching.
I'm gonna say this.
Sally Mae might be watching.
That's fine. That's fine. There was once upon a time they literally were ringing my phone up, and I was a young thing, didn't know nothing about credit, didn't know anything. So they were like, you better pay, even if it's just $5. $5. And I was like, that's all I got. Living in New York as a 20-year-old, I was like, let me just start paying it. It wasn't going or touching anything. It wasn't. When I was looking, I'm like, this is not going anywhere. Do you guys know how much I owe? So I'll just say that.
But I know how much I owe, and it's
when I realized what I owed, I was like, I don't even have that. I'm not going to stress that.
I could buy a small house. In the South. In the South. Not
small house.
Education should be free, but we're not there yet. So let's work on what they
can do.
The damage that was done to students.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I think a lot of what Rebecca is saying might come true sooner than we think. Biden had already said. He didn't. Chuck Schumer was trying to push him, the president, to use his pen to do away with $50,000 of student debt. But Biden said, that is actually the Senate and Congress kicking the ball for something that they can easily do, since the Congress controls the purse of this country. But he did say that he would be willing to do $10,000 debt for people who for all students. Yeah. But he said if you went to a public school on HBCU, you get rid of all of it. They would get rid of all of your debt. So if you made under $125,000. So I was like,
oh, come
that's
on.
What Biden's, that's what his current plan was for for I mean that was when he was campaigning. So I mean I think that they said that would eliminate what 1/3 of all of our student debt in this country. So that's a big deal.
I see what you're doing for others.
I mean I consider if you consider the fact that we have 1.6 trillion student debt, and 1/3 of that would be gone by eliminating all of HBCU students who make $700,000, public school students who make $25,000 and $10,000 from everybody. I mean, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
We know who predominantly goes to HBCUs. I mean, it's a no-brainer unless we're talking about unless of course we're talking about
family.
No. I was gonna say Howard's Law School or Howard's Medical School.
Oh Lord, no, right. you weren't even joking. You.
Yeah. No, he took it there, and that's all right. That's all right.
It is what it is. James, jump in there, man. You pay your don't answer that on air because again, I'm sure somebody from the feds is watching. But what you think about these student loans?
Nobody's paying them.
So no, I'm being forced to pay mine. They take that shit out every 2 weeks off this paycheck. So
you better tell them to stop. It's a moratorium on it. You better tell them to stop.
That's right.
Yeah, they stopped like March, April last year. They stopped, and the way I've realized that they stopped is that I just had 4 random checks pop up at the house. Like, hey, here you go. This is a refund.
Come on, Jesus.
I'm not questioning it. That's free money.
That's money.
I'm with it.
Take it.
Take it. I'm just hoping that he does cancel that student loan debt, man. That would just make my year better. But also, what I would like to see next is those steps to start doing something to reform the police. Because I'm sick of hearing all these stories about police brutality and everything. So let's start getting that work done. I know a lot of it does come on the local level, but come on, let's start on the national level. Get to it.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, as a person who spent most of his life underneath that threshold that Joe Biden is trying to get, like the majority of my life underneath that financial threshold, I don't appreciate him throwing in a financial threshold is going to cut me out of the student loan forgiveness. So my hope, dude, is just erase all of it with executive order. He has the power. He has the ability. It is Congress kicking the ball down the road. They don't want to take that burden. They don't want to take that responsibilities as leaders. So I can't even really consider them leaders, but there's an opportunity for all of it to be canceled. And maybe I'm just saying that from my own selfish perspective. But anyway, we're going to take
go ahead. No, probably, but there's some truth in it, Ben, especially when you consider the fact that some of these PWIs, Rebecca's mouth is moving, but I don't hear no sound. Well, you said something, sis?
No, go ahead, Mondale.
She muted herself. No, I'm joking. Go ahead, Mondale. The PWIs.
What I was going to say was we actually, these PWIs aren't as good as the schools in Europe. A lot of them, and Europe schools their students are fighting when they try to raise the tuition to $5,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we're charging people hundreds of thousands of dollars to go get an education or 4-year degree, where they're never going to probably make a salary in that field. Most people don't work in that field as their degrees. I think it's ridiculous. I like what some of the schools in California were thinking, where you paid. You pay for your college education based on the job you had after your education. That sounds smart to me. Until you get to free college for everybody. And Chuck, we know why Chuck Schumer ain't on board of doing this, right? Because the banks own Chuck Schumer. Because the banks own him. His office is in Midtown Manhattan. Let's not play like Wall Street isn't part of Chuck's home street. You know what I'm saying? So
yes. Speaking of Wall Street, anybody else want to get on that?
Married either next year too. So I mean, if you put or 2 years from now, if you put the pressure on them, then perhaps things. Ben, I'd like to throw this question out there, one, because this. I know this is my last day being on before Marcus comes, but we talk about it, but I don't think we go too much in depth about it. But the power of this filibuster, that's something that obviously we need to have taken away. But the fact that, again, that we have, as I mentioned before, we have some Democrats who are I think Joe Manchin and someone from Arizona have talked about not abolishing that or whatever, but that is going to be key for Democrats to ever get anything done. We know Republicans, as it relates to Supreme Court and stuff, they got rid of all that so they can maintain and retain power. I guess for me, it's frustrating because we know all the promises and the ideas and the platforms that Democrats ran on. The only way that that's going to be able to get done is via 51 votes. The Republicans have no cause to help Democrats pass agendas or pass their items that's going to help America. It doesn't benefit them because then they lose power. Why is it that we cannot get our Democrats in line to get rid of something that is anti-democratic, that is anti-beneficial to the American people? I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Mondale, it sounded like you were going to get into there.
Well, I mean, you know, the history of the filibuster is long and also racist, right? The filibuster is if a white supremacist was legislation or a tool to stop legislation from happening, it would be that, right? But here's what I mean. The truth of the matter is, the filibuster can't correct conservative Democrats, right? Like you still would need 51 without the filibuster. You still would need 51 senators, a majority of the Senate, to pass something. The filibuster requires on certain legislation. It requires more, so many more. So the problem is primary in cinema and also Jared Manchin with a Democrat that understands the need to protect folk and also get in line with what's going on with our party when we're trying to push legislation that is progressive and beneficial to democracy and majority of American citizens. So I hear you, Dwayne, that we need to Darren, that we need to get rid of the filibuster because it's an absolute truth. It slows down the Senate and makes it send it to a grinding halt to where the body is useless. But we also need to get rid of conservative Democrats that hold elected office. So you want to force the vote? Let's do it in the primary.
No, absolutely. And I'm with you on that. The only I'm sorry.
Let me jump in there real quick. That was Kirsten Sinema that Mondale was referencing, and from Arizona, and then you have Joe Manchin from West Virginia, who are conservative Democrats. Who, even if we get rid of the filibuster, which we should, they're going to slow us down. So we need to get rid of them too. Go ahead, Darren, and then we're going to take a break.
Yeah, no, I'm with you because Mitch McConnell says, well, if we get back in power, then they'll just overturn anything. Well, you know what? That's the chance I'm willing to take, but that's the chance I'm willing to bet that Democrats on, because again, Democrats win on ideas and when they get things done. The fact that, again, Republicans, when they got into power with Donald Trump and they took over the House and the Senate, they did what they wanted to do. They didn't care about getting bipartisan, bipartisan support. Why should Democrats care? I'm tired of Democrats always having to feel like they have to be the bigger person. Politics is a blood sport. I mean, and they need to treat it as such because, again, if you go ahead and you get things done, people will reward you because you're acting in their best interest. And the fact that Republicans talked about getting rid of Obamacare since 2009. Have they ever put a health plan or anything together? So Republicans, people know when they open up their mouth, they're full of they're lying. I'm sorry, I had to catch myself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to get everybody. I'm going to give everybody a buzzer so that you can buzz yourself. You can bleep yourself. Say what you want to say. We just gonna bleep it ourselves and keep the ball rolling. But now everybody's hitting some really important points. We want to pick it up when we come back. We have some other news to cover between Joe Biden's first call with Vladimir Putin. We also have the GameStop story. I've been following that since early this morning, like 5 a.m. I was reading that. It is a fascinating story. And also the Miami Heat using COVID-19 sniffing dogs. We've been wanting to go over that for a minute. So when we come back from this break, we'll have more of the morning trap. It's in your hands, exclusive.
Shout out to everybody this morning that's checking us out and checking in. We see y'all and we appreciate y'all so much. Y'all make sure that you stay tuned. We got a hell of a show coming up for you. And got more and more. Make sure that we got to drop you all that knowledge.
With my girls, all the boys wave when they pass by. All around the world, it's the same thing every time. Yeah.
Make sure that you hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, so you always know when the morning trap is going down, so you can always have your face in the plate. Good morning trap, y'all. Shout out to Square Game, Trap Squad, everybody in the building. I see y'all.
I know the industry ruthless. I'm really a threat, a nuisance. The Chevy driving is ruthless. Think I'm the one and I proved it. I know the industry foolish. Things we see in the movies. It really ain't dropping out cool.
Look at me struggle, I'm right on the bubble. I'm making it pop or being a fly. I'm in the huddle, created a hustle. When I'm at the bottom, you see me a lot. I know the energy scheming a lot. Been in this plot and I'm seeing the plot. It feel like summer again when I drop. Call up the label, say give me a lot. My life a movie like Steven Seagal. Regular scheming, I leave it to y'all. I gotta hide when we in the mall. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. And signing no paper if I ain't the one that created it. Bigger the father you mean. I be the type to figure it out and figure a route to eat with the team.
Bet on myself and I proved it. I know the industry ruthless. I'm really a threat, a nuisance. The Chevy driving is ruthless. Think I'm the one and I proved it. I know the industry foolish. Things you'll see in the movies. It really ain't dropping out cold.
Look at my hustle, I'm right on the bubble. I'm making it big and staying at home. Pay me an equity, please. The money you offer don't never do shit when it's gone. I just stand Sylvester Stallone. Walk in the booth like honey, I'm home. I leveled up, they think I'm a clone. Just shot the video, crashed the drone. My life a movie like Jaden and Will. And this shit directed by Jordan Peele. I said I'm the boy for real. The boy gon' run this scheme to a mill. Big ain't signing no paper if I ain't the one that created it. Boy for real. I be the type to figure it out and figure a route to eat with my team.
Bet on myself and I proved it. I know the industry ruthless. I'm really a threat, a nuisance. The Chevy driving is ruthless. Think I'm the one and I proved it. I know the industry foolish. Things you'll see in the movies. It really ain't dropping out cooler.
Wanna leave, don't walk out. Round and round we go. Find it hard to believe me. I know it's kinda hard to stay, but think about everything that we have now. Yeah. Baby, it's too much to lose. Right now it's hard to see, girl, just close your eyes and tell me that you will stay tonight. Come on, baby, stay tonight.
I like that song. It's giving me like a little bit of Michael Jackson.
The Weeknd. A little bit of the Weeknd.
Yeah, a little bit of the Weeknd.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
Like, come on. It's giving me that right there somewhere.
Wait, y'all be staying ready to sing. Like, go ahead and sing for the people. You gonna play with them.
No, listen, we're going to get into some news, though. That's what we're going to do.
Facts,
More Biden news. On Tuesday afternoon, Biden held his first phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Putin congratulated Biden on his win, and both parties agreed to maintain communication going forward. President Biden made clear that the United States will act firmly in defense of its national interests in response to actions by Russia that harm us or our allies. As a U.S. statement said, Biden reportedly raised the issue of Russian meddling in both the 2016 and 2020 elections, an issue Trump does not acknowledge. Biden and Putin also discussed the issue of cybersecurity, as the Biden administration suspects Russia was behind the recent SolarWinds cyber attack. According to a Russian statement on the phone call, Putin noted that the normalization of relations between Russia and the United States would meet the interests of both countries and taking into account their special responsibility for maintaining security and stability in the world of the entire international community. The two also agreed in principle to extend a New START, a nuclear arms control treaty that Obama originally signed with Russia in 2010. This treaty limits the number of strategic nuclear warheads deployed by the United States and Russia to 1,550 each. The U.S. and Russia failed to extend this treaty during the Trump administration. So there's a lot to unpack there. But let's go into, before we do that, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians in 2018 and 2019 before being elected to Congress. A CNN K-File review of hundreds of posts and comments from Greene's Facebook page shows. Greene, who represents Georgia's 14th congressional district, frequently posted far-right extremist and debunked conspiracy theories on her page, including the baseless QAnon conspiracy, which cast former President Donald Trump in an imagined battle, against a sinister cable of Democrats and celebrities who abuse children. Over the years, she said, I've had teams of people manage my pages. Many posts have been liked. Many posts have been shared. Some did not represent my views, especially the ones that CNN is about to spread across the internet, she wrote. After Democratic Representative Jimmy Gomez called on Greene to be expelled from the House for her role in the insurrection, Greene condemned the violence at the Capitol and falsely accused Antifa, BLM terrorism, and Democratic politicians of stoking the insurrection. I fully condemn all violence. The Antifa, BLM terrorism funded on Act Blue rests with Democrat accomplices like Cori Bush, Ilhan, Kamala Harris, AOC, and many more. Those who stoke insurrection and spread conspiracies have blood on their hands. They must be expelled. She tweeted that. Greene, who has embraced and spread the baseless conspiracy theory about a deep state working to usurp Trump's agenda, suggested in Facebook posts that FBI agents disloyal to Trump were traitors. So there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. All we know is that she's a traitor, Putin is a traitor, so we can just go right into the conversation.
So here's my thing. Like, there's two different stories there, but let's work backwards. The Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, don't back up now, sis. You had all that energy before pushing all those people to those protests, which are actually insurrection, treason, right? Mm-hmm. She tweeted all that stuff out. I don't care. You weren't even that popular back then to have assistants. So you tweeted that stuff. So don't lose that energy now that it's almost going to cost you your seat in Congress. That's
why. But that's what happens, right? A lot of these people who want their seats back or who are running, all of the sudden they're changing tune or going into the community or speaking out. Ain't nobody know really who you were before because you really didn't do much, right? But now it's kind of like you didn't do much but push and were a part of the insurrection. Now that that's a big thing, and now that people are being highlighted for their part in the terrorist attacks at the Capitol, now she wants to make sure that she's saving her seat, she's saving her face, and removing herself from that side of history, but that's not going to happen. You tweeted those things. You helped push that information out there. Facebook allowed you to do that. So we will always hold you accountable. And in this moment, don't try to come and say what CNN is about to put out there about me isn't true. No, ma'am. There is proof that you did this. And that's where we're at with it. What's up with our shot right now?
Ben's camera ain't charged up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the problem. Go
ahead, Mondale.
Go ahead, Darren.
No, I was just going to say that, I'm tired of these white Republicans or extremists. I'm just tired of them, period. And the fact that I know that at the end of the day, they won't get expelled from Congress because we don't have the stomach to expel these people like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and this Marjorie Greene chick. We're just, we're going to, utilize the press to express our anger, but we have the power to expel them, and it's not going to happen. I mean, we're sitting there talking about it, where she said to execute the Democrats, but they're not going to expel her. And that part to me, as an American citizen and someone who believes in democracy, is what's frustrating, because you know what should be done, and you know that it's not at the end of the day because it's going to be politics.
Yeah, no, you're right on it. Mondale, go ahead.
I think there's an obligation for something to happen. She will probably be censored on the floor or something. I don't know. I think that something has to happen. You can't have posts. First of all, this is the same. She may be caught up in this investigation more than she want to admit, and I think that may come out as well. So she may have charges against her for being a part of this entire shenanigans that happened the week before the inauguration at the Capitol, where you had white people with pitchforks trying to tear down the Capitol. Here's what I would say. This is the same woman that said Parkland didn't happen. This is the same woman where all of those kids were murdered. Said it wasn't real, and I mean she has plenty to like write her name, which is probably going to be impossible at this point. Which means Georgia needs to rid itself of this congressperson. I think with the weighing of whenever they're talking about expelling a person from Congress, you're always weighing the fact that majority of the people in that congressional district voted for this person. So do you tell them their vote was trash and send this person home, or have the crimes or what has come to light about this person been so against the body that it needs to be that it needs to rid itself of this person? I don't think this person has matched that threshold where she's done enough to be expelled from the body. She's done more than enough to be expelled from the body. So we should definitely deal with that. Seriously, I mean, we expel Anthony Weiner for showing himself to someone, and I think those were consensual messages to an adult. And I think he should. I think we should move accordingly as well.
No, you're right, Mondale. A lot of what she's said and done, there's blood on her hands, and I think the people who work around her, the people in leadership, should definitely be viewing that. And there's always a moment where we can say we see white supremacy at its best, because she's a white woman and things like that, and nobody is going to really look to put pressure on her for those things. I don't think they're really going to do what they've done to other people in the past, but we'll see. Darren, you were trying to say something there?
No. I was just no, I wasn't. It was just one of those things where, I agree with Mondale that she should be expelled. I just know that, when it comes to Democrats, even in power, they're not going to do it. And I was just saying, I think with Anthony Weiner, I thought he resigned versus being expelled.
No, actually, there's a difference. That bastard was texting a child. He's a disgusting monster. He went to jail, so he went to jail. So
somebody
it's
checked.
Different. No, I check myself. I always do.
Okay.
I always do. So because I'm a believer in truth. So I check myself. But the fact still remains that it should be criminal to make threats against elected officials that lead to people trying to tear down the Capitol where these people's offices is. And also they need to do some serious reviewing of the tapes to make sure that she didn't give any of these people tours. And if she did, she needs to be held accountable, because we know that too could be labeled as seditious behavior.
Yeah, even her place in the even her place just in creating that space on Facebook, to me, has her as an accomplice in the terrorist attacks at the Capitol. Her opening up her space and saying those things, blaming BLM and Antifa for what happened at the Capitol. It shows us that she had to be a part of what was going on, whether it was verbal, whether it was opening up her page and allowing those terrorists to read those things before the attack and amp them up. She definitely had something to do with it, whether or not she gave them tours or not. Just her having the platform and creating that space to invoke the people who terrorized the Capitol. So
it's ridiculous.
So let's go into the.
Before we get to the Putin part, I do want to talk about another type of hacking. That's been trying to hack you and talk trash about your internet, and we can't even keep it on camera. look at the universe, Mr. Ben. Where are you, Mr. Ben?
Let's talk about it.
Hey, Mondale, I keep telling people, when you point one finger at someone, you got 3 pointing back at you.
Three point back, and they right here on the camera.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Dwayne, he's in the rating room, but thank you guys so much. Yes, let him in. No, leave him out, because he's always talking about my internet. He's always selling out me about my battery. And look, leave him out for a second. We don't need him in right now. Oh, look,
gonna bring him
Come back looking like Sam Cooke. We ain't got. You were born by a river.
All right, there we go.
You were born by a river.
What I miss? We missed something good. What I miss?
You missed a lot. No, we actually had the conversation going without you.
That's why I was chilling. I just went and reheated my coffee while my internet reset. I knew y'all had this.
But Mondale made a good point. He said that as you always talk about my internet being trash. Even Mondale's mic being point. Even Mondale's mic being on mute. It shows us that Darren said when you point the finger, you got 3 pointing Now look at you. We should have left you outside of the club. We should have left you right outside.
That's friend that just stuck out there, can't get in, while everybody else is inside having a good ass time.
I'm outside.
This is the only place to be. This is the only place to be. But I could watch it. Y'all do know I could just literally go. What we did here, all of us together, is we created a show that I actually want to watch. So if I got knocked off, I was just watching y'all sipping tea, watching y'all have the conversation. So y'all got it. I'm following y'all lead. What y'all got? Oh, we already done with those other two stories.
We're going to talk about Putin.
Well, I mean, we were still talking about. We
but
didn't even get to Russia yet. The conversation about Marjorie was so thick that we were still talking about her when you finally decided to come back to work. But yeah, so
welcome to work.
We also didn't forget that. I mean, she's also the same Congress member that was in the basement that filed articles of impeachment on Joe Biden as soon as he got elected.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about how much democracy means nothing to her and how she plays with like this position that she just got as a congressperson. This is just an add to it. Like impeachment is a serious thing in this country. So much so that it's only been used. Actually, this president almost
doubled it
2 times. This president been impeached twice. Is like what it was 3 presidents before him. So he became. So it's like to me, it is that serious but she's playing with it that on the first day of Biden's administration she issued articles of impeachment. Of course, they're not going anywhere and they're baseless because she's baseless. Well, she's not baseless in terms of white supremacy because she's filled by 73 million people. But her thoughts are baseless, and I can say that and feel comfortable in saying that. I'm not trying to make her unhuman or otherwise her to the point that people see her that way. But I'm saying she's baseless ever since she think it's okay to say that Parkland didn't really happen and that shooting definitely
happened. Look,
and people definitely lost kids.
Yeah. And I was a teacher at the time. No. There's so many school shootings.
You weren't. We were
I was thinking about the kids at Sandy Hook. I was a teacher during the time of Sandy Hook.
Even still.
Yeah. It's still a symptom of the same exact thing that you're talking about. Because you have Sandy Hook deniers. So when I hear somebody denying a school shooting, first thing I think of is the Sandy Hook deniers. But you're right, this was Parkland. It was Parkland that she's denying.
It was messed up that day too. So for her to be somebody to deny it, or it just brings us back to these people who say these things, who are a part of these things, and they're so used to making sure because Trump created that for them, that space for them. Republicans are a part of things that they know that are wrong, saying things, doing things. And Trump created a space for them to be able to do that and walk free and still have their seats and still have their place, in office and things like that. But these people are now worried because Biden is now in office and there's a new administration. They're like, oh, damn, I'm not going to have my safety net here anymore. So let me start trying to clean up my mess. No, like she was saying, the blood is on the hands of BLM and them. No, the blood is on your hands. The blood is on your hands. And we are always going to remember that. I keep saying that because I don't know what these people think. That what we saw on television is something that we can forget, that is unforgettable. The same way they want us to forget that slavery ever happened. The same way they want us to forget what they did to Martin Luther King. The same way they want us to forget all these things, and we're not. And the same way we're not going to forget how y'all ran up in the Capitol.
Don't you want to unite? Don't you just want to move on from this? I mean, how's this going to bring unity to the country if you just don't move on from it?
That's the conversation they're trying to sell right now. And I'm looking at it like, nah. That's why I look at it like you want us to unify with the whole crew of people that were responsible for what happened.
Right.
You want us to unify with those people? Like, let's check them first. Like, let's, it's just a lot. It's a lot to go into.
Well, yeah, it is. And
I think the problem we're making, Rebecca, is, or the assumption we're making that may have you heated, but may fall on deaf ears is that she's not talking to you, me, Ben, Darren, nor James. Her audience, the reason she started out saying, don't believe what CNN's about to say about me is because she's talking to Fox. When you call out one news outlet, when you know that this is going to be shared across all news outlet, you just need to call out a source, and the source is CNN, and they can say CNN because CNN, was going at Donald Trump hard, and and fact checking their movement. So I think, she's actually not talking to us at all. And everybody she's talking to don't believe racism or slavery matters to this point in American history. Well, nor do they believe that they are privileged, nor do they believe that anything that happened the week before the inauguration was wrong. Because you can see Fox tone about it right now. And even you can see the people inside that house that were threatened tone about it right now. You saw 45 senators yesterday do what? Vote against, basically try to vote against impeachment by pushing forth an article or a stop to the impeachment of Trump, letting us know that we maybe have 5 senators that's gonna convict Trump, which also means that that's not enough because we need 17 Republicans. That's the problem. That's the problem.
That's a fact.
Political memory is short.
That's fact.
That's a fact. Rebecca, it's in your hands. I can't come on and after I got my internet cut and try to.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, because we don't need you to.
Yeah, I don't even need me here. Go for it. What you got?
So before we go to this next break, I wanted to ask a question because yesterday was Anita Baker's birthday, right?
Hey.
And real quickly, I want to know what is your favorite Anita Baker song?
Who you want to start with? Because Sweet Love, I'll be calling out your name.
Sweet Love. Let's go, Darren.
No, actually, Ben took that. That was something that my mom used to jam to all the time. We're like, Mom, I don't feel like hearing that because you thinking she's about to get a groove on. Like, Mom, I'm not trying to hear that tonight. So, Walls was there growing up. So, yeah, Sweet Love.
Mondale.
I'm so glad they were singing so y'all can hear how bad I sound.
I love that one. I love that.
Caught up in the rapture.
Dang, I forgot
That's
about
a
that.
good
Rapture. Yeah.
I took that for the team, brother.
What you got, Bubba?
No One in the World.
No one in the world.
Oh yeah, no, because you do a remix of that joint.
Man, it's a
that
bounce version of it.
Yeah, y'all go check out the
wish I could
remix
play it
version
right
that
now.
he plays. I wish you could too.
Oh yeah, he does the bounce version. You know what song I like is
They will cut us off, but I wish you could. Go ahead, bro.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. From beginning to end, 365 days of the year.
That's a good one. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give you an honest moment here. The reason I love Sweet Love so much, besides the original cut, because I grew up on the original cut, but I heard FAMU play Sweet Love. FAMU's Marching 100. I heard them play it probably like 94, 95, somewhere around there. Man, it just doubled down how much I love that song. So shout out to the 100. Hell Wildcats, by the way, but
Florida,
shout out to the 100.
But yes, So happy birthday to Anita Baker.
Just admit that.
No. Hey, listen. I got mad love for the 100. Yeah.
His wife is from FAMU. There is no way.
Yeah, that's fine. That part's not important.
There's no way. But anywho, we will say happy birthday to Anita Baker. Anywho, we'll say happy birthday to Anita Baker and James Bubba Williams. You take us into this break. Florida A&M University all day.
Hell Wildcats. Happy birthday, Anita Baker.
Happy birthday, Anita. Hell Wildcats as usual.
Need my wrist too cold. Start my whip, I might be banging. Stretch my gang go. I might have to put my mama on. She gon' get a crib for my partners in low and come home. Told them don't need trip. Ain't no passes, $0 rest. I can't take no risk. I got bail, can't make no promises. Charges ain't gon' stick.
When it really go down, who gon' really be around? Only family, what I'm looking for. I'm in the city getting jiggy with a centerfold. I'm independent, but it really gotta get it though. I'm in it worth pennies, so I'm really looking forward to the interest when I give it time. I'm in the vibe, I'm back feeling re-energized. I'm in the side, attack enemies anytime. In fact, you dealing with black niggas and shit.
Shout out to everybody that's checking in this morning. Make sure that you hit that like button, that you hit the share button, make sure that you subscribe so you always know when the morning trap is going down. Shout out to everybody that's showing love and checking in on wherever you streaming at. Infinite Content, I see you, brother. What's up?
Hoping I could wave from a car with a chain for the squad and a way to make a whole lot of money. I know they don't want to see me shine the whole time. Been climbing on the low, trying to work it out for me. So I'ma make a play for it all. Only way to evolve, and I promise you will never see it coming.
I got plenty moves. It's that 94. This my shit, my nigga. Drippy down. Back out the stove. I put diamonds on my wish list. Need my wrist too cold. Start my whip, I might be banging. Stretch my gang goes. I might have to put my mama on. She gon' get a crib for my partners and low income home. Told them don't need trip, ain't no passes, $0 tax. I can't take no risk, can't make no promises. Just ain't gon' fit.
She cut her run in my coupe. Shawty might cut me loose. Shawty might want the truth, but you know me, I don't play by rules. She was run in my coupe. I know she saw her too. Pretty little thing, she gon' find a new dude, so I better stop wildin' now. She caught her run in my coupe. Shawty might cut me loose. Shawty might want the truth, but you know me, I don't play by rules. But she was run in my coupe. I know she saw her too. Pretty little thing, she gon' find a new dude, so I better stop wildin' now. Okay, first things first, dog, I gotta take the red light. I could tell it was my shorty by the headlights. Told my side piece, look if she ain't tryna lose her head. When I get home, I'll be pleading by the bed like, baby, it ain't what it looks like, you was tripping. I ain't even see you look right, how you figure? I was laying on my teeth so I could save me. When she told me you can't pay me. And here she comes, riding around in my car with someone else. And I can't blame her cause I played myself. And I just played her cause she don't give up. She cut her run in my coupe. Shawty might cut me loose. Shawty might want the truth, but you know me, I don't play by rules. But she was run in my coupe. I know she saw her too. Pretty little thing, she gon' find a new dude, so I better stop wildin' now. She caught her run in my coupe. Shawty might cut me loose. Shawty might want the truth, but you know me, I don't play by rules. But she was run in my coupe. I know she saw her too. Pretty little thing, she gon' find a new dude, so I better stop wildin' now. And I hate it cause I wanna be a player, but my relationship gon' be the one to take the toll. So I say wildin', yo, I'll be silent. But here she comes, riding around in my car with someone else. And I can't blame her cause I play myself. I think I gotta find me someone else. She caught her run in my coupe. Shawty might cut me loose. Shawty might want the truth, but you know me, I don't play by rules. But she was run in my coupe. I know she saw her too.
Welcome back to the morning trap.
So I better stop wildin' now. She caught her run.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Get Ups, Wake Up, Stay Woke morning show. I'm gonna violate everything that is in me, maroon and gold. And I just dropped David. I just dropped a link to "Sweet Love" being played by FAMU. I dropped
you
that.
Guys can take me off camera then, okay? Let me stop playing.
No. Now I'm willing to do this for Anita Baker. We don't have to do it now. I can do it later on the show.
For the culture is what you're saying.
I'm willing to do for the culture.
That man said take him off that is disrespectful.
Take me off the screen. Let me go put my Cookman
But at least we don't have to look at them. Better. It's really just the audio file from YouTube, but we want to play it. Started. I just dropped it in the Slack room, in the Slack chat. Oops, nope, wrong Slack chat. That said, I'm going to drop this link, and we want to move to this next story that I have been following all morning. I'm a little too excited about it, and you'll see why in a second, because I love it when the people hold Wall Street accountable. It's very rare that you see an instance of what we've seen today with GameStop, with what's happening with GameStop. GameStop was in a very precarious position as we headed out of 2020. And that led to several hedge fund companies betting against GameStop. As a result of the hedging against GameStop, a subreddit, reddit.com, they got together and they utilized several applications, including the Robinhood app, and they helped prop up GameStop to the extent that the hedge fund managers who bet against GameStop, they lost billions of dollars and were on the brink of bankruptcy. I want to play a clip from CNBC, and you can get a better idea. Now, before we play the clip, let me just give you a little context. Here's what you should understand. When investors short an investment, a stock, They're betting that that stock is going to fail and that that company is going to fail. We saw this in the 2007, 2008, 2009 financial crisis. A big component of the financial crisis was investors betting against the economy, betting against the housing market. And so when users on Reddit saw that the investment house, Melvin Investments, voted against, or rather put money against GameStop, users all across the internet got together and propped up to the stock to the point where now Wall Street honestly does not know what to do. Take a listen to this clip.
We have some breaking news right now on what has turned into the soap opera and saga of the markets right now, and that is the story of GameStop. The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management, this is the hedge fund that had shorted this company, that had effectively been attacked by an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock of GameStop along the way. Melvin Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like. As was reported yesterday, both Citadel and Point 72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into Melvin Capital to try to shore up its finances. At this point is whether some of these investors will actually start to get out today. They'll look at this and say, we won the game. If that's winning, unclear.
It is winning.
Where the finish line is in that regard. But as much pain as they may have created for Melvin Capital, for example, there's nothing normal about what you're seeing when it comes to this stock right now. But a lot to be concerned about when you think about what's happening here. Where are the regulators? And is this just the beginning?
Can y'all understand why I enjoy this story so much? Go ahead, Mondale.
Well, part of it is like this is disgusting. If y'all don't know what goes on Wall Street and the speculation and how they make money, mainly because who they allow to trade and not trade, and what happens and how people trade, this is a perfect story. First of all, this story all started, back when Cohan, the guy who founded the dog food Chewy, online dog food Chewy. This guy bought a massive amount of GameStop stock, like 13%. And when he did that, he wrote a massive scathing letter to the board and the CEO. He actually wrote it to the press about them, the board and the CEO, about how they squandered so much market share, because this is an old company, right? Like I think the early 90s or 80s or whatever.
It's been out forever.
They didn't transition. Exactly. They didn't transition, and they gave up so much market share because they didn't do right. So what happened was they ended up putting him on the board, an extended board with some of his other investors, right? And when they came on, people that they call amateur traders, this is all about the crookedness of licensing, right? Who can and can't participate in certain parts of our economy. And exactly, and Wall Street especially. These people thought they were going to use their flex power and say, guess what? We're gonna break you, Cohan, for calling out our friend and our friends on that board, and these little people who are basically falsely evaluating your company because they're amateur. They kept calling them amateurs. And it's like, anything I do with my money makes me a professional at it, right? Like if I'm buying furniture with my money, I'm a professional furniture buyer, point blank, period. And what they found out real quick was,
don't mess with
your white boy privilege. Your white boy privilege used to sound good, but right now it's democratized, and this is going to change Wall Street. I bet you, Ben, your excitement will transfer to curriculum. They're going to teach about Wall Street Bit, which is the subreddit that's responsible for shutting this down and showing these a-holes that they're no longer in control. This is a death to Wall Street, a blow to Wall Street like we haven't seen before.
My favorite part, but Rebecca, I'm going to toss it to you, and then Darren, then James. My favorite part of that clip was when he said, "Where are the regulators?" And I'm like,
You
bitch,
that
where were you
Wall
worried?
Street
You
crying
weren't
for
worried about
regulators.
regulators in 2007, 2008, 2009. Y'all don't want regulators. Don't try to put regulators on the people, because the people got together and gave you a big middle finger, Wall Street, and we gonna do it again, Rebecca.
You don't play with no gamers. You know what? I want that same energy in all these other
You sure
areas. But let's start with that. You don't play with no gamers. When they like,
Wait a
oh,
minute.
not my gaming.
Sis. That's actually prolific. That's actually prolific statement.
That's a dope statement.
You don't play with gamers. That's like two. That's like double entendre on double entendre.
Yeah.
I said something right there.
Hey, hashtag that. Y'all get that on Twitter. Hashtag you don't play with gamers. Go ahead, Rebecca.
But no, that's really all I have to say. It shows a good example of how when folks come together, stuff can be done. Like, we can literally shut down these supremacists. We can shut down these capitalists. We can definitely make sure that we're saving things. So let's use this as a really great example that we can definitely invade this.
I'm sorry, Rebecca.
And take control of and do the opposite of what they think that we can do. People together, it's one of the things. We are a force to be reckoned with, people. So when we get together and show that we can change things and we can dominate things and we can force the hand of the slave masters, it definitely, it's a big difference.
Come on, hey, she said we could get rid of capitalism. I'm over here just shimmying. I'm like, don't get it twisted.
But that's a big
we
deal.
repackaged. We are repackaged, but we the same Negroes we've been since day one, square one. Darren, how did that make you? I am really happy about that clip, because capitalist tears. This is filled with capitalist tears. Go ahead, man.
No, this is the first I'm actually hearing about this whole GameStop saga, but it's hard to follow up what Rebecca said. How you don't mess with gamers, which is good.
Yep.
Now, look, for me, selfishly, I wish I'd have known about the GameStop stock being that low, so I could have bought into it.
Like,
bought a
for
lot
real.
into it to where it shoot up to where 350% now. Ooh, that's the only thing.
Oh yeah, no, it blew up, and it is amazing. James, don't play with gamers.
Don't play with gamers. You said it right. Nothing else to say after that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But like
I'm sorry.
Darren
I thought my apologies, Darren. I don't mean to cut you. I thought you were finished. Darren, finish that thought, and then James.
No, I was through.
Okay, good, James. My bad.
It's a delay in your system, Ben.
It's the internet.
Oh, a very bad delay. He talking about okay. Anywho, yeah, but Echo, you don't play with gamers, man. I'm the same way, and had I known about it, I know I would have jumped in there. Like, for real.
I would have thrown. I wish I had known about it too. I need to get back on these social medias and these Reddits so I could be a part of that, because it went down to $8. And what's it at now? Like, it's something unbelievable. But they almost
like $87,
went out of business.
bro. It's like
My God.
Oh my!
They ended. Listen, they were losing billions, but they closed 300 plus stores.
And this is gonna bring them back. I was gonna say no, like they were in a bad position, because don't get me wrong, like GameStop is an institution, but there are a couple of moves that they could have been making over the last couple of years that would have put them in a better financial position, just from a business perspective. That's neither here nor there. The fact that they try to destroy the company and the people said hell no is just something I'm like,
I love it.
I could celebrate the rest of the day on that. Anybody else got any other thoughts on that story? Because like, if you let me, we'll dance about that the rest of the day.
This is the year. I mean, not within the calendar year, but it's within a year, meaning 365 days, that we saw white supremacy get his ass whooped and Wall Street. That's the first of this.
It's so good. It feels so good.
Y'all speaking so much this morning.
Bro, he was so. Did you see how nervous he was being? He was
so sad.
He looked like they were coming for him. Where are the regulators?
There were the regulators who
Can we do the
regulators?
Can we do the video one more time with the reaction shot? We're going to pause and stop, because he was about to cry a couple of spots in this video. I'm not going to lie. Rebecca, you about to say something. Go ahead, real quick.
No. I was right with Mondale. Go ahead. Let's roll that video.
Let's roll that video one more time so we can enjoy these tears just a little bit longer.
We have some breaking news right now on what has turned into the soap opera and saga of the markets right now, and that is the story of GameStop.
Mondale gets a roasting.
The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management,
dollar sign necktie
hedge fund
ass boy.
that had shorted
he ain't had a real haircut since Wall Street opened this morning, boy.
By an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock, the stock rather, of GameStop along the way.
He's so
Melvin
untogether.
Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge...
Pause it real quick. He got off the phone with the guy who's losing money, and he's reporting that shit as news. Come on, man.
Listen, Ben. Did you listen? Look how nervous they are for each other. Immediately, two other billionaire firms, multi-billion firms, start investing money into these losers. Like I'd be like, yo, that's bad. Think about that. If a black person goes to the bank and like, hey, I just lost all my money.
Right.
All my money from all my family members that invested in me.
Ain't nobody coming to help you.
I need another $1 billion. They can look at me like, boy.
Nobody wants to go and report that.
They gonna call
the cops and say you trying to rob us. That's what they gonna say.
Definitely.
You came here trying to rob us. So go ahead with this robbery.
Press play.
Loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like. As was reported yesterday,
it was so dramatic.
Both Citadel and Point72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into Melvin Capital to try to shore up.
Pause. That's what you talk about, Mondale. When they lose, people come help them out. We late on our student loans, and they come and do what they do. But this boy is really struggling. He's probably having a drink this morning. Because
he's so hurt.
You see?
He's so hurt. Like he's like, where were the regulators? Where
are the regulators?
Keep going. Let's get there. Go ahead.
Its finances at this point is whether some of these investors will actually start to get out today. They'll look at this and say, we won the game. If that's winning, unclear.
It is winning.
It is winning.
Hey, no,
they just roasted y'all asses on Wall Street. Go ahead, Ryan.
And what's fun? It's funny because they don't even know. The game probably don't even know the system or how major this thing they just did, right? They just knew, y'all tried it. We're definitely not. No, we're not letting y'all come in and take what's ours. I need to game in the morning.
Or maybe what people, that's what I'm trying to tell people. Or maybe they have an algorithm where they do know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they do know.
That's why you can't play with gamers.
Don't play with gamers.
That's why you can't play with gamers. That's why I was saying that's why you can't play with gamers. They got that cheat code. Like Contra.
They got that cheat code, Mondale.
The whole cheat code. Yeah, the whole year and a half to get stuff done. So y'all don't mess with gamers. That's messing with their money. What else we got to do during the pandemic?
Money.
YouTubers on gamers on YouTube?
Twitch.
Man,
don't play with their coins.
Man, I know Twitch users that make 10 times as much as anything we could imagine, and they just stream all day. Don't play with these folks' money. Let's keep playing, because he still got to cry about the regulators. Go ahead.
Where the finish line is in that regard, but as much pain as they may have created for Melvin Capital, for example, it's just there's nothing normal about what you're seeing when it comes to this stock right now.
Boss. Let's make this stuff normal. Let's normalize making Wall Street cry.
Yes.
Hey, Ben, you want to know something that's funny to me?
What's that?
This bastard, so comfortable in his whiteness and his riches, talking about Wall Street and Melvin like we're supposed to feel bad that they they try to bet against a company and basically make money off that company failing. Not to mention Wall Street made trillions this year in 2020 while people were starving. Where was his outrage? Why was he calling for regulators on poverty and hunger?
Right. I love it. Keep it. Let's keep going, because the best part is still coming. Go ahead.
A lot to be concerned about when you think about what's happening here. Where are the regulators? And is this just the beginning?
Where are they?
I hope it is.
Yes, this is just the beginning. We're coming for everybody, because Wall Street has been devastating normal Americans. Most people ain't got money on. There's two economies. Most of us ain't got nothing in Wall Street. And so y'all want us to shed. No, we're not shedding tears. I can't say what we're gonna be doing. Go ahead. Anybody else getting there before I talk too much?
Gamers, please teach us your ways. Gamers, please teach us your ways, because the formula, that's what we need. And if we work together, we can definitely destroy capitalism.
Rinse and repeat. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm an underdog type of guy, man. I take people like black quarterbacks against white quarterbacks. Let's go Kansas. Let's go Kansas City. I take
for sure.
I take Toussaint Louverture and his little slave army.
Let's go Haiti.
Napoleon Bonaparte. You know what I'm saying? I take Jomo Kenyatta against the whole British Empire. That's the freedom of Kenya. I take the 13 colonies against British. Against Britain. I take black people against slavery. Hell yeah, I take gamers against Wall Street.
Yes.
I don't think that's a game they want to play. Go ahead, Demer.
My blackness wins out every time. I can't, it's what he says. I'm like him, man. Patrick over anybody else. Eric Bieniemy over this Mike Kafka, quarterbacks coach here in Kansas City that the white media is trying to prop up down here. Right, and man, I'm with you, man. The only thing I'm glad that's not black is my teeth. But other than that, hey, man, I'm telling you, what I'm saying.
Hey, I'll be real, man. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for everybody black.
Hey, Darren, sometimes black teeth are good, man, if you're using that activated charcoal toothpaste.
I use that, though, and it helps definitely whiten really well. The charcoal toothpaste, definitely. I use Hello. It's really good. Really good.
I love it. I love it.
I'm rooting for everybody black.
We do have a lot of other stories that we could talk about, and so we could do that. But I definitely, David and Jake and the whole production team, clip this segment and share it with the gamers, because we want solidarity with gamers, because there's so many black gamers, let alone just all the entire gamer community, but solidarity with gamers against Wall Street, period.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
I like that.
Let's take a break, man. Let's twerk. Let's twerk about it. Go ahead, Mundell.
Before we twerk about it, I'm telling you, I'm seeing a new shirt. Don't play with gamers is a shirt. It's a thing, but also the name of the store is Game. Listen, Ben, the name of the store is GameStop. Put Wall Street in front of that. Wall Street, the game stops now. Like what?
Oh, we need all those shirts
now. Okay, so my soul is on fire. Right
and then have everybody who quoted it at the bottom to make sure we get our accreditation. But we said a lot of good quotes on this show alone to support the gamers against Wall Street movement. So let's get it popping. Let me
tell you something. Go to a twerk break, because when we come back, I got to tell y'all what I just did.
Here we go.
Shout out to the games that's tuning in, that's checking us out. On one of them, let's get it.
It's every day we with it. I can do this every
shout out to Talisha Conklin. I think it's her birthday today. Shout out to her. Just dropped a super chat. Happy birthday.
It's every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. It's every day, every day. Every day, every day, every day. We can get into it right quick. My neck, my wrist, my whip go crazy. Down south kid, don't fix your list. Don't talk too much, don't speak on my neck. Pull up on you with the juice and the homies. I'm full of cognac and cook up a rollie. And everything that I got going is hitting. I learned I gotta keep a grip on my mission. Okay.
Shout out to everybody that's checking in. We hope you enjoying the show. It's the morning trap, y'all. Hope y'all enjoying it.
Okay, I ain't got a minute to waste. I live like ain't no tomorrow today. I look like I got a lot on my plate.
Hey, shout out to AG. I am playing Cyberpunk right after this.
I can do this every day.
You in my living room, man? Get out of here.
I can do this every day. It's every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. It's every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. What did you think this was? It look like you ain't believing, cuz. It look like you ain't believing, bruh. Let me open your eyes so you see it, huh? I was taught to attack to the finish line. I used to save up for finish line. I used to wait for my shot to come. Now I take it and scrape it like dinner time. No, I ain't waiting on nobody. Got them all on my way like a boat party. If I make up my mind to do it, I'ma do it relentless. I get to my goal, shorty. You ain't riding, I'm kicking you out with no hesitation. I treat the hustle like reparations. Been had it coming, I'm chasing greatness. Bitch, I'm the one that you gotta face it. It's every day we with it. I
I can do this every day.
Every time I would sit in my lounge chair, you be like, can we go out of nowhere?
Shout out to everybody that's checking us out. Make sure that you hit the like button, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff so you know when the morning trap is going down, whenever we're going live. Make sure that you do that. Make sure that you follow.
Let's get on a break right now.
Let's celebrate. I'm on my own, so get your things out of my home. You couldn't keep up on this here dance. It was always just a petty romance. So let go, let go. Yeah.
Let me tell it to you like a lie when I'm in my lab. You don't wanna come up, knock it when the line's hungry there. Said let me tell it to you like a lie when I'm in my lab. You don't wanna come up, knock it when the lion hungry there. But I can't resist, cause that meat's delicious.
Now you see that I'm that kind of guy. Oh, you mad you lost your piece in the pie? There's a rainbow coming straight for your eye. I'm a unicorn that told me daddy.
Right search, wrong pew. I see you. I love that name. I appreciate it. Oh, Amazon's Bubba is good as all. Thank you.
Hey, live it up with the fast ride. Said, hey, live it up with the fast line.
Shout out to everybody showing love. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Make sure that you hit that like button. Let's get those numbers up. Make sure that you hit the share button as well to make sure that you share with your friends. Let's get it, y'all.
I'm on my own, so get your things out of my home. You couldn't keep up on this here dance. It was always just a petty romance. Never had that no
Be honest, I'm too greedy to waste my time and I'm trying to find a better, just conceited. All I shot is spend like 40 on the bottle. No, I need it. I be going overboard, even though I know I mean it. It's a drive-in movie when you pull up on me, baby. Either I'm right, I'm crazy. I can't get enough of me lately. I feel like nothing can change me. Car hard work with rap shit. 2 stacks gone like that quick. iPhone died off backflips. Gymnastics, she do gymnastics. She don't never curve me. She don't never act sick. She don't never go away. I ain't never asked you. In a Kardashian, like a Kardashian. In a Kardashian. I'm the everything. I feel like ain't no hope around me. Black designer shit, smoking around me. Looking for that diamond in the rough. You done find me. Trying to keep my head on straight so they can crown me. Ayy, black on ice, PK sober, whole team moving, facts on life. We ain't losing, we ain't losing. Barricade, run through it. Barry pain, keep zooming. Everything happened for a reason. Don't you be the reason that we lose it. She do gymnastics. She don't never curve me. She don't never act sick. She don't never go away. I ain't never asked you. In a Kardashian.
Shout out to everybody that's like dropping those super chats. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. 61 likes, 600. Yes, hit that like button, y'all.
Bring the gang, bring the gang.
I'm grimy. Killed the plug, take the bug, cause I'm grimy. Run up, get gunned down, cause you can find me. Anywhere on the block or the Grammys. Keep on talking and I'ma run up on your granny. Cause I'm grimy. Cause I'm grimy. Your girl gave me it twice and I ain't talking sign me. You said I ain't a killer, but I'll be one when you try me. I get roused in the bar, I get roused in the streets. I got 2 hitters with me and know they never discreet.
This is giving real heat. Now I can't even lie. I like this. I feel like I'm like in the club. You know what I mean? Ready to like fight somebody.
I'm not even lying.
It sounds like some Pop Smoke. It sounds like Pop Smoke. That's what every time I hear the song, it sounds like Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
All right, Pop Smoke.
But I'm not even dancing because of the music. I'm not even dancing because of the music, Rebecca. I'm dancing because on the break, I registered for you. It's yours. Don'tplaywithgamers.com. We ain't playing around with them. We're gonna put everything on that website, t-shirts. Don't play with gamers, in solidarity with gamers. Rebecca.
Oh, I love it. I love it because they can definitely get there. We can definitely build that website out to let them know that we are in solidarity with them. And we are all about getting the capitalists out. And that's the people on Wall Street who want to make sure that we're poor forever. So moving on from that, speaking of heat, Bubba, because that's some heat that you were just playing. The Heat is trying to use plans to use COVID-19 sniffing dogs to screen fans at games. Beginning on Thursday night's game against the LA Clippers, the Miami Heat will begin allowing a limited number of ticket holders to attend their games live. But first, they must pass a sniff test. American Airlines area where the Miami Heat play will screen fans using highly trained dogs who are able to sniff out COVID-19. Take a look.
Interesting.
Team coverage turns now to the Miami Heat as they get ready to welcome back fans to the American Airlines Arena.
They're using new COVID-19 security measures. Local 10 sports director Will Manso is live this midday to explain. Will?
This will surprise a lot of people. It is an interesting story with science behind it, yet the Heat taking that leap of faith and moving forward with literally going to the dogs when it comes to their COVID-19 protection program. Dogs that detect COVID-19 will be there at the entrance for the limited amount of fans that will return to games starting next Thursday, about 1,500 season ticket holders. That's right, the dogs will be there. They're highly trained. Heat working with the company for months now and learning more about this ability and the training of these dogs. If the dog gets right by you, you're fine. If the dog sits, that means it has detected COVID and you.
So when fans arrive, they will be brought to a screening area where the dogs will walk past them. If the dog walks by without issue, then you're clear. If the dog sits next to you, then you won't be allowed entrance. If someone is allergic to dogs, the Heat are offering rapid antigen tests, which can be processed in roughly 45 minutes. COVID-19 sniffing dogs have been used in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and Finland in recent months. Highly trained dogs can also detect high levels of stress in humans, too little blood sugar, and even some types of cancer. There's more.
Wow.
You and anyone in your party will have to leave the line and not be able to enter the game. Now, this protocol, again, has been studied for months by the Heat. It is something that they were interested in months ago in the plan to bring back fans. This is phase one with those 1,500 season ticket holders. Now, the dogs that detect COVID-19, these are not the only measures that the Heat will take. This is part of the process. You can find the entire process at local10.com on our website in the sports section. And part of it is that any fan that does enter the arena must have a mask on at all times. The only time you're allowed to remove your mask is when you eat or drink, and you're not allowed to eat or drink in your seats. There's a designated area that you'll be allowed to eat or drink. Also, social distance of 6 feet, at least for anyone sitting in those sections. That is the phase one, but these COVID-19 detecting.
So, guys, we're going to be... do you guys think there's an issue with how they're going to roll this out? Because this is, to me, trying to get people back into the arenas, to me, still sounds like super spreader moments. Like events, if people aren't going to get the vaccine, I think that these measures still aren't going to help save people. I know that there are things to take precautions and things like that, but we've seen in these places where we're wearing masks or, being told somebody had COVID and they're staying home, people are still getting it. So do you think in these arenas that this is the smartest thing for them to do?
I personally, I'm just fascinated. I didn't know dogs had that. I knew they could sniff just about anything. I did not know they had the ability to sniff out different viruses and conditions. That said, I don't need any dogs sniffing me as I go to enjoy any entertainment, just because they're not going to just be sniffing for COVID-19. Y'all know they're going to be sniffing.
You know they're going to have them in there trying to sniff y'all for everything. You right.
I pass. I'm going to stay home.
I think the thing is though, like a lot of people misunderstand the dogs in the airport. A lot of people think those dogs are sniffing for drugs. A lot of the times those dogs are sniffing for like bomb residues and not.
So it's not the same. It's not the same dog skill set.
Nah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's just my paranoia. I just whenever I see a dog, I think they after me. But you're right. Go ahead.
But I mean, the games you would probably go to, Ben, it would be legal anyway, like Miami or Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So
dog fighting
ain't nothing. I mean, anytime I went to
not Atlanta so much. What? Atlanta has no regard for the laws. I'll tell you that, because you can smoke weed anywhere in Atlanta. It doesn't matter. That said, I still don't want no dogs coming after me. Because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. You're making a bigger point. You're making a bigger point.
Yeah, I think it's a way to get people, like, you know. I think it's smart. Dogs are extremely intelligent animals, and we've used them a lot of the times for a lot of stuff, and even saving human lives. I do think, though, Rebecca, I think people are going to take the vaccine. Joe Biden just purchased 200 million more vials of the vaccine. I think it comes in a vial. I don't know. And I think we're gonna benefit from it. And I think by the end of the summer, we will have herd immunity, and this country will start looking normal again. Because what we had with Donald Trump is everything was on the whim. First, he didn't buy enough of it. Then he's talking about the ineffectiveness and also like downplaying COVID. So now that we have a real timeline, we can start building out like what our world may look like and when it will happen. So people can start planning things again. I mean, like if and when we have enough vaccines for all adults in this country, and Biden said within his first 100 days he's trying to get there, I think we'll be fine. I think people will take the vaccine, especially when it starts preventing them from doing things that the rest of the country and other folk can do.
No, I could definitely see it that way. And if everybody is willing to take the vaccine, we can get to going to the games, and we can get to going to the clubs, and, you know, throwing it back and drinking with the friends at the bars, and, you know, just all kinds of stuff. Go ahead, Bubba. I'm sorry. What were you saying? I just was reminiscing.
Oh, no, I was saying the same thing. Club, bar, drinks, going out to eat. Normal.
Travel.
just like touching other human beings, right? Just
oh my God.
Like that. Yeah.
Ooh, I just can't wait to love on people. I really miss actually being able to hug people, hold hands, like, you know, just without worrying, like when I went to go see my mother, without worrying if I get too close to her, you know, because I'm over here in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And then I was over there in Florida where they don't care either, in South Florida. So it's like, I don't want to worry about having to go home to my mama and potentially giving it to her, or going to a basketball game and potentially getting it from somebody who didn't give a damn, you know? I saw somebody tweet, you guys, I kid you not. There's this stupid thing I ran across on Twitter, and I guess it's like HBCU confessions. I just ran across it on Twitter looking for news, and these Generation Z kids are something else, because one girl or person stated that they slept with two men and let the men believe that they got COVID. She gave them COVID and let the men believe that they got COVID elsewhere. This is what's going on in America, y'all.
Who got time for those kind of see anyway?
I don't even want to get into that because I know it's gonna take me somewhere else, and people ain't gonna like it too much.
That's next level.
Yeah,
that's next level for
but
me.
this is what I'm saying. People who have COVID are gonna use it. There are crazies out there who may be using it in a wild way.
As a weapon.
Let's definitely protect ourselves as best as we can from psychopaths.
Especially because there were, I heard stories of some people having COVID parties. I don't know if y'all heard of that.
I've heard that.
But that's a damn thing. COVID parties.
Yeah, where they go to parties to intentionally to give each other COVID-19.
COVID, yes.
Yeah.
Y'all already know who it is. You gotta say.
I was gonna say the odds are. I'm just saying, because Black for Week.
No, because I just told you about an HBCU story.
Can I say something? I'm laughing at the producer in my ear. My producer in the ear saying pink people. Go ahead for pink people. Go ahead.
So the COVID parties were Donald Trump. These are Donald Trump supporters during the election cycle, trying to play into what
play it down.
He is saying about COVID is not real and you can't get it. And they also became. COVID parties should also be synonymous with super spreaders, because that's what they became, super spreader events. Let me say something else. Here's what I want to say. And we do something. We have a tradition on Clickbaity that's not a part of the morning show, because the morning show is meant to be, more inclusive as it pertains to who we're talking to throughout our universe, and also the expanding of our universe, and who gets to enjoy the fruits of this labor. So we do something on Clickbaity that we don't do here, but I gotta say something about this because it's misinformation and people will die because of it. Gentle Killer said, Bill Gates said 700,000 people would die from the vaccine. That has been disproven so many times. That is not true. We can't go around talking about like what's gonna happen with this vaccine or scaring people not to take it. That is not a fact. That is not a fact. And furthermore, COVID has killed 400,000 people, not worldwide, but right here. Already. So please don't spread misinformation. About the vaccine. Yeah. Like we need people taking this vaccine. It's gonna save people's lives. Marcus scared the H out of me, man, when he said COVID lives in your brain and can come down later. That freaked me out.
Yeah, he scared me too. Yeah.
We ain't got time to play with that or misinformation. I appreciate you calling that out, because we don't need anybody. It's even in our chat rooms.
You can definitely police Mondale. You could definitely police the misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
Like get them right. You can cuss them out on Clickbaity at night.
Save the name. Right. Save the name. Take a screenshot so we can pull the thing up. Oh man, what else?
Ben, already screenshot it. I don't know why you said that.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be a whole segment about him tonight.
Hey, does he have a picture, or is it just like a blank avatar?
We're not roasting him right now on the morning trap.
No,
we need a little 5-minute segment on Fridays about how I can get into the boys. Just let me
we might do a 2-minute segment. I think do 2-minute segment every day. There's always a time for roasting.
And it could be a clean roast. There's clean jokes that you can say about.
We're doing clean roasting in the morning. But that's it. We're going to do clean roasting for the morning shows.
So that they have something different. Like, Becca got to draw the distinction, because if you want the real roasting,
you got to go on Clickbaity tonight.
Do not come into the chat room on Clickbaity,
because Mondale will be roasting you for your life. He will snatch your wig. He will definitely have your
shows how petty I am. Rebecca, it just shows how
Mondale, you petty as hell.
I know. You think I don't know? You petty.
Mondale specializes in the petty.
You don't understand. Be on the air in the morning, getting ready, playing music, and here I come, Bubba over there looking like.
Don't do the Mondale voice, because it's so hilarious to me. Every time somebody does Mondale, we got to do his voice.
Right.
Hey, bro, I know how to get these people. I'm reading a comment from Nestor Gonzalez. I forgot about this aspect, but this is how you get all these men who ain't following COVID-19 guidelines. I forgot that a side effect of COVID-19 is erectile dysfunction. So play with it.
If y'all trying to make sure your PPs is working all through COVID-19.
Or for the rest of your life, for that matter. Stay your ass at home, going to basketball games, and watch that on the internet. Anyway, let's do a quick commercial before we get out of here. Everybody introduce, tell them where they can find you and what you got coming up that you need them to know about. Let's go in order of my screen. Rebecca.
You definitely can find me on Twitter. I'm trying to block out the sunlight so you guys can see my face. You can definitely find me on Twitter at Rebecca Azor, RebeccaAzor. And what I got going on is basically the show. And I want you guys to tune in every morning to the Morning Trap, and make sure you catch me and these beautiful men on this show every morning, y'all, 8:30 to 10:30.
That's what's up. Darren, hey, man, we appreciate you sitting in and filling in for Marcus while he was away. We want you back anytime we can have you back.
Darren's family.
Tell everybody where they could find you and what you got coming up that they need to know about.
Yes, once again, thank you so very much. I enjoy spending time with you all and furthering the discussion to the Trap Squad and the Squirrels. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Darren Smith, WHB. You can tune in if you want to hear me talking sports this afternoon and every day from 3 to 4 p.m. on 1510.com. Locally in Kansas City, it's on the radio at 1510 a.m. and 94.5 FM. This Saturday, I'll be traveling down to Tampa for 10 days, getting ready to be on Radio Row all next week and covering Super Bowl 55 between the Chiefs and Tampa Bay. And just a disclaimer, just because I work for ESPN Kansas City doesn't mean that, they got us loaded with money. The station is not actually paying for my hotel or anything like that down there. So I will be setting up a Cash App, but I will have a place to lay my head and stuff down there while I'm down there. But it's stuff I deal with, some white stuff I deal with back here in Kansas City, but It is what it is. I'm going to go down there and enjoy myself for 10 days anyway.
Bro, you have not, because you asked not, and you did mention it, so you low-key asked, what's your Cash App then?
Oh, it's $ digital 816.
Digital 816. Drop that in the chat room for me, producers, and whoever can, not send him some love, and we're going to get him to do at least one broadcast with us, like just to broadcast live from the Super Bowl, which I think is pretty fire.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Mundell Robinson. Mundell Robinson, what you got going on, man? Tell everybody where to find you.
You can
yeah, go ahead.
All right, so you listen. I can be found at Mundell Robinson everywhere. I just want to say one thing real quick. Don't trust anything coming from white supremacists, even if they ain't white. I know, and we're going to talk about this tonight, but I just wanted to throw it out there so y'all can start, your mouths can start wetting right now about it. And I'm going to be real quick, Ben. They just found out that the Proud Boy founder, Enrique, whatever his name is, was a super informant for the police department for drugs and all types of charges. He locked up more than a dozen people, I believe. All those cases of black people should be thrown out immediately.
Wow.
This guy's not to be trusted.
Immediately.
We are black living against a country that is ours, that don't love us every day. Thank y'all for tuning in. We love y'all.
James, it's in your hands. You got a couple of things, but first, before you do it, tell the people how to get up with you.
Yes, most definitely. Y'all can follow me, DJ X3C, on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. DJ X3C, Facebook, IG, and Twitter. You can catch me there. And also, Cash App DJ X3C at Venmo, and Cash App DJ Exclusive on PayPal.
That's it. Bubba, it's in your hands. Y'all know where to find me. You can find me every morning on The Morning Trap. You can find me every night on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap at 8:30. And then you can find me in the
Hey, and definitely before we go, yesterday I had technical difficulties and power issues and everything. Yesterday marked 1 year that we lost a legend, the great Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna Bryant, along with 7 others, passed away in a tragic helicopter accident. At the request of his wife, she did ask that, she didn't want any tributes or anything going on. So instead, what we'll do, going into the music, we're going to roll this video from Kobe Bryant on how he would like to be remembered. Take a look.
How do you want to be remembered? What matters to you in this whole discussion of what do you want people to think of?
It's I've always said that I wanted to be remembered as a player that didn't waste a moment. Welcome to the Kobe Show, take 2. Didn't waste a day.
Kobe.
And I felt extremely blessed by the God-given talent. But at the same time, I didn't take it for granted at all. So if I could be remembered as a person that was born with a lot of talent, but did everything he could to try to overachieve, and lived every day as if he was the 12th guy on the bench, I think that's a very powerful message to have, and something that hopefully the players that are now and players that will come later choose to embody as well.
Rest in peace, Kobe. And I can't be remiss if I didn't play this as well, too, because we didn't get a chance to play it on the show. FAMU Marching 100, Sweet Love. might help if I mute myself. Shout out to FAMU once again, but it's always and forever will be Hell Wildcats. So, like that being said, we'll take y'all to about 10:45 playing some good music. Make sure that y'all get y'all day started. We go from there, y'all. It's cold outside, but the package is hot.
Vividly etched in my mind like filigree. Visions of a gritty street, living so my kid can eat. I'm chilling deep at the hideout, that's my vicinity. The phone rings, a voice says it's ready for delivery. The package, the message clear my head like antihistamines. Time to do my job, consider me the man of mystery, the secret agent. And you're the boss is known to be impatient. She need the package, she says it's so close she can taste it. I saw the look in her eyes, I was unsurprised. Ain't nothing new, already been through this 100 times. She can't settle, hunger strong enough to smash metal. So I slide in the driver's seat and match the gas pedal. Blast off across the asphalt like NASA shuttles. Cars in front of me, I pass a couple. Then check the rear view to see who's creeping behind me. Eyes in all directions, I'm never stepping blindly.
He's a man, and he's taking it to the streets, just doing what he's able in the game to provide for his family and put food on the table. It's cold outside, but the package is hot. It's gotta make the pickup without no hiccup. It's smooth and make the pack to the spot.
I'm never rushing, on time every time, no discussion. Moon shines down like it knows something, I hope it doesn't. I'm at the pickup spot that got the best product. Package in the back of the restaurant, the chef's got it. I step inside, he approach me slowly. No words needed, only a nod.
Make sure you hit that like button, the share button, subscribe button, so you always know when the morning traffic's going down, y'all. Of course, you can catch us every morning between 8:30ish and 9 or so. Of course, you'll catch me at 8:30 starting with some good music for you. Make sure that you get your morning hype and make sure you get your morning going. The morning trap, y'all. Your boy DJ Exclusive.
My love for her is crazy. I'll make it back safely and watch her face light up because it's that tasty.
Yeah. Aight. Come again. Check it out. One roll like that. Soon gonna find. Eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. One roll like that. Soon gonna find. Eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. You can't defuse a bomb with the baseball bat. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. Conflict resolution doesn't look like that. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. What's going on? Why you acting like that? Tit for tat. Tit for tat. All the little babies playing tit for tat. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. Can't even catch a nap with the baseball bat. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. Conflict resolution doesn't look like that. Tit for tat. Tit for tat. What's going on? Why you acting so wild? Tit for tat. Tit for tat. All the little babies playing tit for tat. Tit for tat, yo, historical fact, bro. It's how the caveman got his skull cracked. Couldn't compromise, didn't know how to act, so just started.
Everybody asking what was that last song that just went off? That was The Package by Secret Agent 23 Skidoo. Secret Agent 23 Skidoo, that was The Package.
Cliches and tropes have got to go. We don't need another white muscle-bound hero. Not saying much, always coming to blows. Been there, done that. It's just so-so. Not much for the mind, even less for the soul. And if I had my hand on that remote control, I'm gonna switch that channel with the quickness, yo. Real communication's all about the flow. De-escalating, not coming to blows. Tit for tat, tit for tat. Can't defuse a bomb with a baseball bat. Tit for tat, tit for tat. Conflict resolution doesn't look like that. Tit for tat, tit for tat. Man, what's going on? Why you acting like that? Yeah. All the little babies playing tit for tat. If you go toe-to-toe with a major A-hole, you got for the mud, just that's where you gonna roll. Can't clean off the sink, won't you stoop that road? Get the breath and deflect it, take the high.
Hey, slide to the left, slide to the right.
Shout out to everybody that was joining us this morning. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was a good one. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow where we'll have an even better show. It gets better and better every day, y'all. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and joining us.
Hey, slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do this all night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do this all night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come
wrapped around your waist. I love the way that you be twirling to the bass. Moving sideways on a Friday. DJ playing all of your favorites. I'm digging your flavor, yeah, yeah. Cause if let this be real inside. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do this all night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do this all night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, slide to the left, slide to the right. Rock with me, baby, we can do this all night. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Come on, come on, come on. Slide to the left.
This is Slide to the Left. I'll give you the name in a few minutes.
Telling me I'm crazy, trying to prove me wrong in every fight, knowing that I'm right. Why you trying to wreck me? Always wanna check me, wanna call me out in front of friends. Careful where you tread before this ends. You love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do. Bull-headed, stubborn, wild, crazy lovers. You love me and I love you. Why can't we just
That was Slide to the Left by Keenan Trevon. Keenan Trevon, Slide to the Left.
Kerosene with fire. Oh, baby, with fire. Feed the flame with fire. Oh, with fire. Say you love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do. Bull-headed, stubborn, wild, crazy lovers. You love me and I love you. Why can't we just match the two? Why we get so mean? Light the match, I'm kerosene. Why you tryna play me? Telling me I'm crazy. Sitting on the other side of me, always cross-examining. Don't you think it's silly? Why won't you just trust me? Why can't you just look me in the eye and know I never lie? Why you tryna play me? Tell me that I'm crazy, tryna prove me wrong in every fight, knowing that I'm right. Why you tryna wreck me? You always wanna check me, wanna call me out in front of friends. Careful where you tread before this ends. You love me and I love you, but butting heads is what we do. Bull-headed, stubborn, wild, crazy lovers. You love me and I love you. Why can't we just match the two? Why we get so mean? Light the match, I'm kerosene. We're fire. Oh, baby, we're fire. Yeah, oh, we're fire. We're fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for your boy James Bubba Williams, better known as DJ Exclusive, your co-host and DJ. I really enjoyed myself this morning. I hope that you did too. Stay tuned. Make sure that you check out Clickbaity tonight at 8:30, and also make sure that you have your face in the place in the morning, 8:30. For me, your boy DJ Exclusive, rock you out while the morning trap gets started, y'all. The morning trap, we love you so much. Thank you for everything. See you in the morning. Peace out.